now I would like to welcome Dr. Rajavarman. So to expand further on the topics that were discussed by Dr. Nidhi and the panel discussion, Dr. Rajavarman is the Senior Bioinformatics Specialist at Premas Lifesciences and spends most of his time analyzing and reporting cancer genomic datasets from Illumina platforms in hospitals like Kokilaben and Adyar Cancer Institute, WHO. He has published his cancer studies in American Molecular Pathology journals, Journal of Molecular and Genetic Medicine, and has trained several institutes in India, which were involved in major genomic programs like SARS-CoV-2 surveillance. He has also written several articles on diverse topics focusing on clinical informatics, comprehensive genomic profiling, Nutrigenomics, and infectious diseases in different magazines, blogs, etc. He previously has had exposure to precision medicine and non-clinical sequencing data analysis while he was working with several bioinformatics companies. We are pleased to have you with us, Mr. Raja. Over to you.
Thank you so much for that very detailed introduction, and thank you so much for the given chance. Let me share the screen. Somehow I feel my topic has been stolen by the previous panelist. Keeping that aside, I might reiterate the same thing in a different form altogether. Let's see how much it reaches. Without any further ado, my name is Rajavarman Kittu. I'm working as a bioinformatics specialist in Premas Lifesciences. Today, we are going to see the technical skills as well as the soft skills which is needed to be in industry. Again, it's not specific to informatics. I would probably consider this as a recommendation for any technical, probably the IT or the bioinformatics together, right? Wherever the data analysis comes in picture, this can be applied. So three things we are going to discuss. First is technical skills, and then soft skills and the mindset. Pretty much all these topics are covered by the previous panelist, but I will be adding little more extra points here. So speaking about technical skills, there are some unique skills comes with certain people, and as a team, we need to have some specific skills. Probably I would say people specific skills as well as the team management skills, right? So currently we are going to see, first, let's focus on individual skills. Suppose the given problem. Yes. So say in the informatics, generally in the IT related companies or the informatics companies, will be given a problem or will be asking to develop a tool. So those kind of situations, first we need to understand the problem, but basically what do you want to do? Either we want to do the analysis for the given data sets, or we want to build some software. And then we'll be going for the plan, like say the architecture, like clear plan on the architecture. The second one is what are the infrastructure we need? Then how many manpowers we need, how many people, and where are the resources has to be put on, right? And the last one is time frame. And then finally, we'll be deciding what are my deliverables and how faster I can give. So this is a basic benchmark or probably the need or the workflow which has to be followed, right? In both the cases. So be it it's happening on the cloud or local, this is the ultimate goal for any given cases, right? Say we are going to develop a product, say be a software product which is being done in the local, or you're developing a product in the cloud, or you're developing a database altogether, right? Or there are some cases, since currently people are so much fond of going for artificial intelligence or machine learning, or probably the SVM is one of the classical machine learning techniques, neural network concept or deep learning concept. Any of those cases, apart from even the data management, first of all, we need to understand what is the given problem or the situation, come up with a detailed plan, and we need to know the logic as well. Before even starting any given coding, we need to know the logic. We need to convert the whole problem into the scripting language, by the way. We need to be very good at the maths as well as the logical thinking. Only then the scripting can be executed, right? And finally, once the execution is being done, we need to go for certain validation. So again, when I say validation, In the beta stage, we'll be doing some validation where the known data sets will be given, and we'll be checking, are we getting the expected results or not. Again, you might need to fine tune different parameters or specifications to reach the expected value, which confirms your product is good enough. And then the final minimum refinement, if it is needed, will be going for. This is specifically for product development. As far as analysis is concerned, it's slightly different. We'll be taking a different data set which has been already established or had been published. We'll use that same data set, build a pipeline and confirm the results. And then we'll be using the real-time data set for getting more confident on that, right? As far as data management is concerned, we need to know the policies very well. First of all, like say, you are a kind of a service provider where you are building a data management policies or the products. We need to know the recommend better or their policies, and then we'll be building the tools. Again, they're also pretty much the same concept. You need to apply the logic, you need to execute it, and you need to validate it, and then you'll be giving the deliverables, right? It's pretty much basic benchmark or probably the bottom scenario which has to be followed. So the key point here, first we need to be understanding is probably the scope of this particular given problem and what is the highlight, like what do they want to achieve out of this whole problem or the product. And the last one is limitation, what you can give or what you can get out of the products and what are things we can't do it. So the more we know, the better we'll be coming up with the better solutions. That's what the ultimate, the probing is one of the important key. This cannot be done in the middle of the process or the last minute. Rather, the more we understand from the client end, or probably it may be a data or it may be a product, the more we communicate and get the details from the given clients, the better products we can achieve. Right. So this kind of one of the busy slide with the scary key points. To keep it very simple, again, this slide is specifically for informatics, I would say. If you are an informatician, be it you are an analyst or you are a development side you are in, the basic thing which you need to be knowing for sure is Perl and Python. Of course, there are many cloud computing services, there are GUI-based web browser, there are multiple options are there. But to do a minimum file manipulation, even if you want to do a counting, it's not good to do using a simple Excel. So in that case, the basic level of scripting is always recommended if you are in an informatics field. Again, very basic knowledge for Perl and Python at least, right? And then before even jumping into the scripting, we need to know the schemes better. Like say, what is a given problem? Which are all, what are all the concepts I can apply on the given data sets? And then the systems. In this given configuration or given setup, will be able to execute or not? So we need to know the computation also better with respect to the scope, right? So Perl Python is kind of, I would say, if you are in an informatics field, then it is compulsory. And then there are next level of products where people are nowadays, not even nowadays, I would say down the line, 10, 15 years before also, people are more fond of coding in the cloud, right? So where Hadoop Scala is kind of widely used, if you get a time and if you are a tech savvy, so in that case, you are very much fond of learning the technical skills, try to understand how cloud computing is being executed, where Hadoop ecosystem, which covers almost the data management, product development, as well as the full-fledged product development can be learned in that particular platform, which you can try it out. Again, it's very, very advanced level, not for everybody. People who are fond of tech, they can get into this. And the last one, which I'm saying is basically Nextflow. Why it is it's kind of trendy and it's not something very new. It came from Java and then Groovy. It's a like third level of Java, I would say at this point. But why it is important currently, most of the cloud solutions is getting developed using this particular scripting. So if you get a chance, again, if you are very much fond of tech learning, then this is a thing which you can try it out as it is trending, right? So these are all not again compulsory. If you have your own, as I told, there are web browsers are there, there are Windows-based softwares are there are free open source tools are there are cloud computing services are there. Those things can be explored. This is for people who fond of learning new skills, developing new skills. As you have seen the previous, the whole panel was speaking about developing the skills. So if that is a concept, technical skills, if you want to develop being a core developer, then these are all the things has to be there. As an analyst, if you know bare minimum with the Perl Python, it's good enough. But if you want to develop something, it's better to have all these things in place. at this given point. Again, down the line, in 2 years, this may even get outdated because the new things that the way IT skill requirement is getting probably moving is so faster, right? So in this case, today this is kind of useful. You need to catch up with your skills always. That's what I'm trying to say from this slide, right? So switching the gear here, soft skills, as far as soft skills concerned, almost people have told this. I'm just reiterating the same thing in a different way. At certain extent, you need to be having a technical skill for sure. But if you want to survive in the industry, the people skill is more important. Yes, you know very well, but if you don't know how to communicate better, plus you are not talking with anybody, you are always working on your own PC, it doesn't help. So in that case, people skills are very much important. How do you develop? You need to do enough of networking, which has been told before also. And you need to have good contacts. Again, don't run behind contacts. At least if it is reaching you, don't give up. Like say someone is coming and talking, try to develop a relation with them. Relation in the sense as a friendly relation with them, right? And the team spirit, what does that mean? If any given role is any given task for a team, try to distribute instantly rather than like taking the full ownership. Try to distribute it so that everyone get a chance to utilize their skills, right? Plus, you will be also if you're working as a team, obviously down the line you'll come to know what are the individual skills as well, so that it's easy to distribute their own favorite skill sets. So that's that kind of one kind of thing which will be understanding in the down the line, right? So team spirit is one of the important thing which gives chance for the individual growth as well as the team growth as well. So that's one of the important thing which everyone should be understanding, right? And self-discipline, which of course people skill, basically if you are very extrovert, you don't want to work on this first point because you will be having this inbuilt, right? There's no doubt on this. But when it comes introverts is kind of different, we need to be picking up. So otherwise it's very difficult to survive, right? And the second one, which is self-discipline. Why we are speaking about self-discipline? The whole, say you are working in an office where whole 8 hours you're going to communicate, or even if the clients comes in with the requirement, you're going to communicate with them. The communication is the key. Again, with respect to what are the words you use, what are the body languages you use. So you are almost communicating or conveying the message even without speaking. That's what the second point is, which is body language. Be it you are giving a talk or you're sending a mail or you're in the call, like say you are having even one-to-one conversation, everywhere try to be with the full self-discipline. When I say self-discipline, you need to follow basic rules, which is basically I would say ground rules, which is these things. Try to be a pleasant, try to have a pleasant conversation as much as possible, and try to spread the positivity as much as possible. And whenever you speak, make sure it's basically you're delivering the statement with full confidence. And the way you are delivering, people should get trust on you. So that's the ultimate purpose of communication all over, be it professional or non-professional. This should be the way, right? And if I want to put it in very simple term, try to write very clear, even simple context. So you don't want to be so much of using a jargons, like say very technical terms, even if the simple term would do to convey the message. So try to keep it very simple. Second is when we are in call, even though the tone is very important, the pitch is very important. Why? People don't see our face. So in that case, we need to be very careful with what we communicate. So the pitch as well as the tone is very, very important in the calls specifically, right? And the last one is body language. This is mostly for if you are working on your own space, there is no issues. But when you are really working as a group or as a team, or even if you are in a meeting, it's very important to maintain a body language. Suppose people can easily figure out who is basically focusing and who is interested and not interested, right? So in that case, body language is one of the important factor. In fact, even if you are speaking and if your message is conveyed and it may even reach in the right term, but body language, if it is wrong, people get it very totally different term altogether. So in that case, these are all the key points which has to be followed. These are all the basic, I would say, basic recommendations, right? So I think this has been told before, right? I'm just putting in a different context in the communication as well. So we need to know, when I say scope, highlight, and limitations. Basically, given communication, say there is a communication which happens, we need to grasp the concept quickly. So suppose if someone comes and reaches you for some topic, try to get the like say crisp or probably the purpose behind this quickly, and highlight only the advantages, plus try to know the limitation. This I told for the technical as well, this applicable for the simple communication as well. So rather than wasting time on unrelevant topics or like say unwanted things, rather understand the concept as much as possible. Try to ask as much as question in the first instance, get a clarity why this particular conversation is happening, straight away get to the point, right? Plus you try to know where it is leading as well as soon as possible. So this is one of the effective way communication. This should be followed for sure, right? As almost we are in the last part where the mindset people have already told also. Since we could able to see in the panelists, there are different kind of there was a consultant, there was a doctor, there is a CEO, plus there are informaticians. So we could see almost different background people in one particular panel which we saw. Almost everyone had kind of same mindset here. So everyone was saying try to grasp whatever comes to you, don't miss out any meetings, LinkedIn, be active, communicate effectively. So almost they told everything. So all things comes out of one basic thing, which is basically they should have a very positive mindset, plus the eagerness to learn with full passion, right? So here I just brought out a little bit of plot where try to have an experimental mindset and be ready to take risk. Again, not extremes, at least the basic ones. You should not be giving a second thought, because as student level, it's better to take a risk at the early stage, because down the line you may not even getting a chance to take a risk, right? So this is a time to take a risk. It's better to take and try to learn things quickly. Again, different people have different learning skill sets. Probably they may take a time, but as a motto, try to have a motto to learn quickly. So because that is one of the key factor to improve the skills faster, right? And if anything comes new, you can give a thought, get to know about pro and cons for sure. But adaptation is one of the important key factors in the industry, because every company is not going to work in the same way. So it's better to have a quick adaptation mindset. And then passion driven, almost everyone will be having this. If they enjoy the job which they do, in that case, it's by default, it comes in. If you're not getting it, obviously you need to switch the job. So in that case, what I meant, if you enjoy the job, you don't want to struggle more on this. So passion driven should be there if you want to see a growth in your career. And spread, so obviously it will be coming in picture if everything is in place. Finally, the commitment. So if you miss any of these things in the middle, so probably the commitments should be given to all the segments which is being shown here. So that's the one which is going to be driven. So it's not like 2 days you are doing something and then you are leaving it. Rather, try to have a long-term commitment with whatever is being mentioned. So these are all the key, probably the parameters or the mindset we should be having it to, rather than saying survive, to have a better career in the industry, right? This can be applicable for research as well. It's overall, it can be applicable for both, but the skill sets which has been mentioned or the key points which has been mentioned is very, very important if you want to achieve something in your career. So with that, I would like to close the talk. Let me see if I have any questions, even though it's a very general topic.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Raja, for such an insightful talk. Yes, we do have some questions with us that I would like to ask. So one of our participants is asking, after acquiring technical skills such as Perl or Python, I would like to work on a project using these skills. What are some of the ways that I can showcase my work?
So about the projects, again, we need to know, as I told before, we need to know what kind of project it is, plus We need, so again, scripting wise, you can always choose any of the scripting. You have C, C++, Java, you have multiple things. We need to understand what is the problem is, plus which particular scripting will be best suitable for the given, probably to solve the problem or to develop the product. In that case, the more understanding we should be knowing the limitations as well as the highlight of the individual scriptings, probably the programmings.
I hope that answers your question. And how do you network with experts in field who are difficult to communicate with? Perhaps they're not interested, or how do you convince them?
Okay, so rather than here, there is no convincing. Rather, she have told very nicely. I think so. Don't send even the LinkedIn request when you say don't just send a blank message or blank invitation. You add in your key points, probably the catchy phrase. When I say catchy phrase, it's not like you are putting a one-liner to impress. Rather, you keep something, give a topic which is common between both of them. So of course, it may take a time. Some people are not open to start a conversation in the first go, right? If you really following someone, probably you are having passion to follow someone. Keep in touch with them. It's not like you need to communicate down the line. Anyway, you'll be meeting them if you are following them seriously. So it's not like you need to force them to get them in your radar. So you just follow them and do your work. Down the line, anyway, you'll be reaching them for sure. I mean, be optimistic.
Yeah, that's a nice answer. All right. And how do the skills acquired differ while working on a project individually as well as while working in a team? That's a nice question.
Yes. So first of all, this mostly. So let me give a very simple examples. First of all, when the project comes in, obviously the teams will be divided individual based on their skill sets which they have acquired before. Even if they are not well trained with the skill sets, the team, the individual division or probably the job distribution which will be happening after the project has been settled. Say the business analyst who collects all the requirement from the clients, then there will be a job distribution meeting which happens very clearly with all the team members, where based on their skill sets, the problem will be different. Probably the workload will be divided. So that's one chance where people even switch, or people wants to learn something new, they also get an opportunity. So it's kind of well organized in the MNCs. When it comes small startups, as people have already told, you will be wearing multiple hats. You will be responsible for multiple things. So in fact, you will be putting your hands almost everywhere.
Right. And do technology soft skills set you apart from the crowd?
Let me change the perspective here. The crowd will be anyway will be following the trending part. That's not sure. Today one script, tomorrow one script. It will be anyway always following, right? So in your case, at this point, like today you decide, like today you are a student. So today you try to pick one skills and try to become a master down the line. Say at least within 3 years, right? Why I'm saying this? Because anyway the trend will be keep on changing. If you know one script today, it's very easy to adapt new one, or you can pick up. So whatever you learned in these 3 years can be converted to the new things which is coming. So rather than catching up on something which is basically keep on running, focus on something at this point for some time, and then you switch. It will be easy transition basically.
I hope that answers your question. Okay, we have a lot of questions today. How can soft skills provide an edge to a person in the industry, and what could be some of the tips to improve them? Yeah, we did cover it. But yeah, if you want to add something?
No, I think it's covered. It's fine. Let's.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And as an introvert, how can I keep the conversation going while networking?
Yes, so this is very difficult for sure. But being introvert is fine. Still, you are in college and school. But when it comes industry, you will be missing out if you can be an introvert. There is no doubt. But when it comes something to your table, like if example I'm giving, you running behind someone and then saying hi is not needed. But at least if you get a hi, try to say hello. That's minimum requirement which the introvert should be doing. Plus, if someone who is matching your wavelength technically, right? be open to discuss with them more. So that's one of the thing which I can think about at this point. Introvert is one of the like characteristics which is a born skills, but there are certain topics which you should be able to discuss with people who have same interest.
Yeah, that's a nice point. And amongst technical and soft skills, which is important, which is more important?
So at the early stage, technical skills are very, 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 very important, which is 90-10. And down the line, when you are well experienced with the technical, the people skill should be like 70% important.
I hope that answers your question. And do you want to add something for our participants towards the end who are in their graduation and post-graduation and are dealing with their busy schedule of academics, but also want to upgrade their skill sets, but don't have the time or are confused which resources to follow, what to do, how to do, and actually are confused which specific skill set to pick. They have no idea at this. How can they?
Yes. So some skills, again, speaking about academic, there is a really very good gap or probably the very long gap from the academic to industry. How do you fill the gap? Of course, the academic syllabus where you cover for, like say the academic syllabus is only for the course, right? You may grasp the basics for sure. Not everyone is picking the life skills over there. When I say life skills, it means the skills which will be useful for your career and the life, right? So in that case, these bridges can be closed by taking extra courses. It might be either probably, as you can say, the Pine Biotech is giving multiple courses where you get to have extra skills which your own classmate doesn't have. Simple example, in your classes, 60 people are there. Not like everyone knows how do we analyze the NGS data example, right? So there are nearly 16 to 20 different pipelines which has been developed in the cloud, which Pine Biotech is having, where every individual pipeline has its own tools and different parameters. You can't pick up everything in your academic. Academic can give you only the introduction to certain areas. They can't go in deep any of those things. So if you want to develop your skills, you need to come out of the academic syllabus and learn more outside the classrooms, which is very important things. That's how you'll be differentiated from others. Again, there is no limitations here in the learning. The more you learn outside your class is going to be helpful in your lives, like basically in the career. So in that case, try to do more. This has been already told before. Also, I'm reiterating: conference, workshop, classes. Try to attend more. This improves you to pick up your skills better.